I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to show you this picture. And I want you to be thinking about, what does the boy feel and how do you know? Show me a small thumb on your waist. What does the boy feel and how do you know? Go ahead and talk to your partner. Okay, and how do we know?
Because he's smiling and because he has food all over his face.
Okay. Finishing up your conversation. Finishing up your conversation. 1, 2, and 3. I heard lots of talking happening. I heard the word messy, and I heard the word happy, and I also heard because. Why? How do we know the boy feels happy? Who can share? How do we know the boy feels happy? Yes.
Because he's smiling and he's really happy because he's eating.
Yes, we know that this boy feels happy because he's smiling. And I'm going to tell you something. This is my nephew. This is mi sobrino. Isn't he cute? So yes, we know that this boy feels happy because he's smiling. And just like we can look at this picture and tell how the boy is feeling, we can also do this as readers. Because as readers, we can find out how a character thinks and feels by looking at what the character says and does. Okay, we're going to go ahead and take a look at that. So I'm going to put this chart up here for you. We can tell how our character thinks and feels by looking at what the character says and does. I'm going to put a few feeling words up here. And this is going to be for your class, so we can dig deeper when we're talking about how our character feels. And I put them in groups for you, because I know as students, a lot of times we use the word happy, and we use the word sad or mad and afraid, but I put synonyms, other words that mean about the same thing. Okay? Let me show you what I mean. I have this book, Fly Away Home by Eve Bunting. I've been reading this book. I'm not going to read it all to you, but I'm going to show you how I, as a reader, can take notes about my character's feelings. My dad and I live in an airport. That's because we don't have a home. And the airport is better than the streets. We are careful not to get caught. I think that the boy feels sad because he lives in the airport. Okay? I think the boy feels sad because he's sad. He lives in the airport. Mr. Slocum and Mr. Vale were caught last night. 10 green bottles hanging on the wall, they sang. They were as loud as 2 moose bellowing. Dad says they broke the first rule of living here. Don't get noticed. Dad and I try not to get noticed. We stay among the crowds and we change the airlines. I think the boy feels lonely, right? My character, the boy, feels lonely because he and his dad go from airport to airport trying not to get noticed. Delta, TWA, Northwest, we love them all. Dad says he and I wear blue jeans and blue t-shirts and blue jackets. We each have a blue zipper bag with a change of blue clothes. Not to be noticed is to look like nobody at all. Once we saw a woman pushing a metal cart full of stuff. She wore a long, dirty coat, and she lay across a row of seats in front of Continental Gate 6. The cart, the dirty coat, the lying down were all noticeable. Security moved her out real fast. Dad and I sleep sitting up. We use different airport areas. Where are we tonight, I ask. Dad checks his notebook. Alaska Air, he says, over in the other terminal. That's okay, we like to walk. We know some of the airport regulars by name and by sight. There's Idaho Joe, Annie Franny, and Mars Man. Sitting together? But we don't sit together, because sitting together will get you noticed faster than anything Dad says. So I'm thinking about the character. My character, I'm going to refer to him as the boy because I don't know the character's name. So the boy feels, he feels he's not happy about moving around, but he is contentful. The boy feels content about moving around because he says that he likes to walk. So he does feel content about moving around. Once a little brown bird got into the main terminal and couldn't get out. It fluttered in the high, hollow spaces. It threw itself as the glass fell panting on the floor, flew to a tall metal girder, and perched there exhausted. Don't stop trying, I told it silently. Don't! You can get out! The boy thinks that there is hope. And the reason why the boy thinks that there is hope, because the boy talks to the bird and tells the bird not to give up. So boys and girls, right now I'm going to put a text up on the page for you that you're going to read and that I'm going to read aloud to you. I'm going to pass out these sticky notes, and I want you to be thinking about, how do we know how our character feels? How do we know how our character thinks? By looking at what the character does and says. So I need you to be a helper for me, passing out a sticky note, and I need you to be a helper. Please give everyone one. Real fast, please. And I'm going to go ahead and put the text on the board. Oh, I love how you guys are passing them down like that. Nice job. Look. So if you want to lean on your book to go ahead and do that, grab your pencil, and we're going to give it a try. Does everyone have a sticky note? No. Okay. Who needs one? One.
Wait.
Okay, perfect. Pass them on up. Pass them up. Leaning on your notebook or leaning on your book to write. I'm going to put this projector on. And here I have a sentence strip so you can think about how you want to put it together. Here are the feeling words, and here's your sentence strip. My character thinks, my character feels, because we want to know, what does the character say and do? I'm going to read it to you while it's up here so you can choose to read along with me, you can listen, or you can read it on your own. You have a few options. This is about a girl who is having trouble to read. She has not been able to read since the first grade. She is now in 5th grade. She just met a teacher, Mr. Falker, and she is still reading as if she's in kindergarten, okay? So I'm just going to give you some background information. Is that as clear as it gets? Yeah. Okay, here we go. So listening and looking, whatever works for you. Now, almost every day after school, she met with Mr. Falker and Miss Plessy, a reading teacher. They did a lot of things she didn't even understand. At first, she made circles in sand, and then big sponge circles on the blackboard going left to right, left to right. Another day, they flicked letters on the screen, and Tricia shouted them out loud. Still other days, she worked with wooden blocks and built words. Letters, letters, letters. Words, words, words. Always sounding them out, and that felt good. But though she'd read the words, she hadn't read a whole sentence. And deep down, she still felt dumb. And then one spring day, had it been 3 months or 4 months since they had started, Mr. Fokker put a book in front of her. She'd never seen it before. He picked a paragraph in the middle of the page and pointed at it. Almost as if it were magic, or as if light poured into her brain, the words and sentences started to take shape on the pages as they never had before. She marched them off to. Slowly she read a sentence, then another, and finally she read a paragraph, and she understood the whole thing. She didn't notice that Mr. Fokker and Miss Plessy had tears in their eyes. Okay, so think about it. How does the character feel? How does the character feel? And how do you know? Okay?
We have to write the themes of that book.
This is this book. How does the character feel? And how do you know? What's happening? I know we didn't read the whole book, but I told you that she wasn't able to read. Here are your feeling words. Here are the feeling ones, writing it down, giving me a thumbs up when you have it down. How does the character feel, and how do you know? The character feels, her name is Trisha. I know that. I know you might not know that. Give me a thumbs up when you're ready. Trisha, but you can call her the girl right now. If we know the name, we put the name. If we don't know the name, we can refer to the name as whatever the author refers to her as. Okay, go ahead and talk to your neighbor about what you wrote down in your Post-it note. Okay, finishing up with your conversations. Finishing up with your conversations. 1, 2, and 3. I like what our friend over here wrote. I'm looking for these other words when kids looked up here and used other words, maybe besides happy or sad. Use some of these synonyms. Can you go ahead and share what you wrote? Okay, I can't hear you, sweetie. Real loud. Because she what? Oh, so maybe at first she felt frustrated because she couldn't read, and then she felt, she said, pleased. She felt pleased because she was able to read a paragraph. Okay, who else has something down? How about you over here?
My character feels content because she can read and then she could.
Then she was finally able to read, right? Good. Oh, I love that word proud because it's a little bit different than happy, and maybe we'll have to go ahead. Oh, we have proud up here. He said Trisha felt proud because Trisha read a paragraph. Awesome job, boys and girls. So I want you to remember today and every day when we are reading about characters, we can understand how a character thinks and feels by looking at what the character says and does. So we're going to go back to our seats. We're going to open up our independent books, and we're going to begin reading. So, we're in reading groups. I know we're going to go to our special spots. Stop and jots away. And just let's make some space. Okay, perfect. So let's see if we, yeah, thank you for putting that stuff over there. So maybe, Melissa, we can kind of move the stuff over there, right? We don't need anything. Maybe just a pencil. All right. Are you all finished here? Because we're about to begin on something new. All right, perfect. I'm waiting for my one friend to get finished. I'm waiting for you. Can you put those over here? I'm going to put these over to the side for you, okay? Right near me. All right, boys and girls. I have a book that we're going to be reading together today. I'm going to pass it out to you. You can put your pencils down. We don't need anything right now. You're welcome. Perfect. Is it okay if I look on with you, my friend? Okay. The title of this book is A Different World. It is written by S.W. Gonzalez, illustrated by Simon Nij. This is a realistic fiction book. So everybody think about the genre. Realistic fiction. If you feel like you know what that genre is, go ahead and give me a thumbs up. Yeah. What is realistic fiction? What can you tell me about realistic fiction?
It's fiction, but it can really happen in real life.
Yeah, so this is a fiction story, which means it's not a real story, but the things that happen in this story are like characters and things that happen in our real life. They're like the people that we are and know. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to do a picture walk. So go ahead and begin your picture walk. Okay, I'm going to have you talk to the person next to you using the words I predict. I predict this book is going to be about, I'm going to have you share with him, and then you two, and then you two. Okay, looking at each other, I predict.
I predict that these girls going to get a surprise to this, I don't know, his name.
That's okay. What is she going to give?
A turtle.
Oh, do you agree? Looking at your friend.
I think the girl will get
Talk to your friend. Talk to your friend.
will get turtles. Find turtles.
Okay. Boys and girls, I'm hearing a lot of conversations about I'm predicting somebody's going to get a turtle. I'm predicting that our friend is going to another place. I'm predicting that one character is with another character. So this is what we're going to be working on today. I know that you know something called inferencing. And inferencing is when we tap into our previous knowledge, right? We tap into our previous knowledge and we are like detectives searching for clues, okay? Trying to find out what the author is telling us. So when we inference, we, go ahead, show me, tap into our previous knowledge and we look for clues on what the author is trying to tell us but not specifically stating. When we're reading, I'm going to be coming around and listening to you read. I'm going to tap you on the shoulder, and that just means to go ahead and start reading in a voice that I can hear you. Just show me where you are and begin reading. But I also have some questions for us to be working on too. Okay? Why does Aunt Louise need to care for Keisha? And why does Keisha need to go to Aunt Louise? So these are inferencing questions. All right? I'm going to give you a stop and drop. You're going to read chapter 1. So you're going to read from page 2 all the way to page 6. You're going to stop at page 6, okay? If you get done, reread it. All right? Go ahead and get started. I'm going to give you your Post-it note. Let me just move this. And when I tap you, I like to hear you reading, okay?
Kesha's mom sat up. She had been very sick. Now she was getting better. Kesha could see that her mother still seemed tired.
What do you think here? How do we know that Keisha's mom is getting better?
Because she's smiling.
She's smiling. What else is in the text that tells us that Keisha's mom is getting better? Is there any clues in here? Go ahead and read that first sentence for me.
Kesha's mom sat up.
What about that?
Because she sat up.
Yeah, she sat up. And when we're feeling better, right, we always kind of start to sit up. Because sometimes the author is telling us things without saying it. You have to just look for those clues. Okay? Keep on going.
I'm afraid in bed a while longer. He said, Dad has to go back to his job. Aunt will care for you over the vacation.
I really like how when you started saying this, you said, let me go back and reread it so it's more fluent, right? You started saying it word by word, but then you went back and you said it in a short phrase. So as a reader, continue to keep on doing that, going back and speaking in phrases. Dad has to go back to his job. Okay? Go ahead. Go ahead and read.
Kesha could see that her mother still seemed tired. I must rest in the bed a while longer, he said. Dad has to go back to his job. Aunt Louise will care for you over the vacation. Aunt Louise had always visit them each year on her annual vacation. Aunt Louise can't come here. You must go to visit her this time, said Mom.
Okay, what is your prediction? Why do you think Aunt Louise can't come?
Because I think she needs to do a job.
Oh, so Aunt Louise has to work too? Okay, let's go ahead and see.
Doesn't Aunt Louise living on a tropical island now? She asked. Yes, she works for a bank on Grand Cayman Island in the Caribbean, her mom said. Why did she move so far away? She asked. It's a very good job, her mom said. She has good skills and she will probably get a raise soon.
What is a raise?
Raise.
Yeah. What do you think a raise means? Who are we talking about? What character are we talking about right now?
Aunt Louise.
Okay, and what do we know about Aunt Louise?
She goes very far.
She goes very far. Why does she go so far? Where did she go?
To Grand Cayman Island in the Caribbean.
Okay, and why does she go so far?
Because there is a very good job.
Yeah, so you were right. Was your prediction right? You said that she's going. So what do you think a raise could be?
Good job.
Good job and good money. When you get a raise, you get more money for doing the job that you were doing before. Okay? So when we come to words that we don't know, like that, so she'll probably get a raise soon. We know that she's good at her job. She has a good job. She has good skills. So we kind of have to put it together. What could she get from her job? We know she's going to get a raise, but we don't know what that word means. So we have to look back at the sentences before it and after it and try to take a good guess. She's not going to get food from her job, right? She's not going to get pets from her job. but she might get more money from her job. That's why we work, right? Okay, so remember when you're reading, and if you don't know a word, try to go back to the sentences around it and understand the meaning. All right. Okay, boys and girls, go ahead and put your pencil down. All right. And I want us to talk about some of these questions here. So, why do you think Aunt Louise needs to care for Keisha? Talk to your neighbors. Talk to your neighbors. Looking at your neighbor. Okay. Do you agree? So did you agree with your friend here? So you guys are in agreement. Okay. That's okay. I want you to share with me. Let's see if you guys agree with what he says. Go ahead, honey. Tell us what you said. I'm sorry, what's your name? Tell us what you said. Yep, let's listen. Tell your friends what you just said with the question, why does Aunt Louise need to take care of Keisha?
Aunt Louise needs to take care of Keisha because her mom is sick and her dad needs to go to his job.
What do you guys think? Do you agree? What do you agree? What do you think, Melissa? Yeah, you're able to agree? Okay, good. And my friend over here, do you agree?
Yeah.
Okay, so when our friends are talking, we want to make sure that we're looking at them and we're not really writing right now. So I'm going to ask you to put your pencil down. Even if you don't have it down, you're still able to share it. And you don't have to worry about putting the same thing he has because you said it. All right, so why does Keisha need to go to Aunt Louise's house? The author doesn't tell us why, but we're going to tap into our knowledge and we're going to think about why this could be happening. All right, talk to your neighbors, looking them in the eye. I want you to talk to your neighbor. The other person can start.
To go to Aunt Louise's house because Aunt Louise can't because
Because why?
Because she is far away.
Okay. Okay. Are you guys agreeing with what you said? Okay. 1, 2, and 3. My friend over here, pencils are down. Pencils are down. Can you share what? We talked about this before. The author says that Aunt Louise always comes to Keisha's house. But now Keisha has to go to Aunt Louise's house. But the author does not tell us why. Why do we think? Why do you think? Telling your friends. Pencil down, please. Thank you. What do you mean? So we know that Keisha's parents are sick. Do you guys agree with that? What's another reason why Keisha might have to go to Aunt Louise's house? You told me before. It's something that we have to tap into our knowledge. We have to think about it. What do we know about Aunt Louise? Tell your friends. Tell them. Okay. What do you think? Do you agree? Yeah. Do you want to add anything else? Tell the group.
Because I read here that it says Aunt Louise had always visited them each year for annual vacation. And vacation means that free time. So, and in this picture, it looks like she's working, so it means that she has time.
What do you think about that? Yeah, that's what we were talking about before. The author doesn't say she can't come because she has work, but the author tells us that she's working at the bank, and there's a picture of her working. So we can kind of tap into her knowledge, and we know that not all grown-ups can't get off of work, okay? Did you guys like this story so far? Yeah, it's interesting. Okay, so what I'm going to ask you to do is you're going to go back to your independent reading books, working on what you were working on, okay?
Can you make it?
Yep, stack your books here. go back to your independent reading books. Yep, you're going to continue doing what you were doing. Back in. No, thank you. Let me see you guys transition back. Back to your independent reading books, because you know Miss Amber may call you for a group and then send you back, and then you have to go back to what the group is doing. You're not doing this story anymore. You're going back to your independent books. You can give me your, yep. Yep, back to your independent books. Back into your old Stop and Shops. Good job. I'm seeing you getting started. Thank you for getting started and transitioning. That's fine, honey. Up your sentence that you're reading, finishing up what you're writing, putting your bookmarks in your spot, and I'm going to bring you back to the carpet with your things on your lap, okay? I'm going to call you. Please don't get up right now. I will call you to come back to your carpet seats. Close your materials and stack them together so that I know that you are ready to join me. You may go back to your carpet seat. Alexia, you may. I'm looking for people that are ready. I will call you. I will call you when you're ready. I will call you when I'm ready. You're ready, but I'm going to call you, okay? This group may come back to the carpet. Right back to your seats. Carpet seats, things on your lap. All right, let's see. This group may come back to the carpet. Stuff in your lap, please. You girls may come. Let's see how we come back to the carpet, things on our lap. It's a little bit different how we start, right? Because at first I don't want you to be looking at your things, but now I'm going to want you to refer to your information. This group, to the carpet spots, please. Everything on your lap. Making space for our friends, letting them in. Let's do a slow count. You don't have to worry about all the chairs right this moment, but thank you for helping. We're going to wait for everyone to join. Things are on our lap. We don't need to be writing anymore because this is the sharing time. This is one of the most important parts when we get to learn from each other. And if we're writing, then we're not listening to what our friends are going to say. So boys and girls, you did an awesome job today at Reader's Workshop. And I just want to ask you if anybody has anything to share. You can share about your thinking, or you can share something that you noticed about your character today. Anything that you would like to share, okay? Go ahead and first share to the people next to you. Why don't you share with me? Anything that you want to share? Yeah, you didn't get a lot of time to work in that book though, right? Because we had the guided reading. Anything that you want to share from guided reading? Okay, so you're going to be sharing. Okay, finishing up. Finishing up. 1, 2, and 3. Eyes up here. So the reason why I'm saying anything you want to share, because you know what? We had some students doing different things. We had students in guided reading groups, and we had students independently reading. So we may have different experiences to share. All right? Who would like to share something out loud for the group? Your thinking, how you felt, or maybe something that you learned about a character. Yeah. Go ahead.
My character named Coco wanted a gift for Christmas, so the owner gave him a stuffed animal kitten, and Coco didn't like it and didn't play with it. And then
I'm going to just stop you for 1 minute. I love how you're retelling me some important events in the story, but can you take your retell and maybe use this? Coco thinks or feels what? Oh, I love that. Coco feels the stuffed animal is boring because, does Coco say or do anything that lets us know that? Nothing. He doesn't throw the stuffed animal? He did? Oh, I was just making that up. So Coco feels the stuffed animal is boring because he throws it when he receives it, right? So right there, we can tell more about our character by what the character is doing. Coco is throwing away the stuffed animal. Awesome. Anybody else like to share something? Our last one?
And I didn't know that this slimy thing is innocent to its life.
You didn't know that slimy thing what? Go ahead, just say it again. What is that slimy thing called? So you didn't know that was a body part of a fly? Okay, so our friend over here is reading an informational text and she's learning new information about the flies that she's studying. All right, boys and girls, awesome job today. I hope to see you soon in the library, okay? And happy Valentine's Day. Bye.